Leaders of France, Germany, and Spain landing near the crash site of the Germanwings passenger jet that went down in the Alps. These are the latest pictures from the scene. Chancellor Merkel, President Hollande, and Prime Minister Rajoy coming to honor the 150 victims killed when the plane crashed into a mountainside. The sound recorder recovered from the scene is badly damaged, but it's hoped it can still determine what caused the tragedy. Footage from the crash site shows the devastation. The mountain blanketed with small fragments from the plane. The area is tough to get to and more or less impossible for helicopters to land there. Bad weather also hampering the recovery operation. Police had to guard the site overnight to protect the bodies and the remains from wolves. Let's take a look at what we know right now about the lead up to the tragedy. Around 10 a.m. local time, the Airbus A320 took off from Barcelona bound for Dusseldorf. 45 minutes later, it started rapidly descending over the French Alps. The biggest mystery currently is that the pilots did not issue a distress call. The plane fell more than 10,000 meters in about 8 minutes. The jet is known to have undergone a check just a day earlier. Of the two pilots aboard, the captain had more than 10 years' experience. Some experts suggest a sudden loss of cabin pressure as the possible cause of the descent, but former pilot Desmond Ross says that's not consistent with the fact that there was no distress signal.
They have decided they needed to get down to a low altitude. That's normal procedure. At 38,000 feet, you can't breathe the air. If there's a fire, if there's decompression, any of those things are happening, you must get the aircraft down to a low altitude where you can breathe the outside air, which is what it looks like on the radar track. It looks like a controlled descent. Their next action should have literally been to call air traffic control and say, we have an emergency, we must descend. So they should have made a radio call, which makes you then start to wonder whether what I just said is correct. You know, maybe they did not initiate the descent. Maybe they were, in fact, already in serious trouble, incapacitated perhaps, and weren't able to make a radio call.
French authorities say they're not ruling out terrorism yet as a possible cause of the crash, although claim the theory is highly unlikely. Ross agrees that the pattern of debris indicates the plane was intact at the moment of impact.
I really don't think it broke up in midair. I think it has hit the ground at very high speed and literally shattered into small pieces. If it had broken up in midair, the pieces would be larger and they would be scattered over a wider area. But what I'm seeing on the television footage is that it's essentially in one valley on one mountain and really in relatively close proximity.
Bereaved relatives and friends of those killed in the disaster have been gathering at airports in Barcelona and Dusseldorf. Among the victims, a group of 16 German teenagers, all students in the same class, who are flying home with two teachers after a week-long exchange program in Spain. Students ages 15 and 16. A candlelight vigil was held in their town. And in the German city of Cologne, colleagues of Germanwings crew also gathered for a minute of silence. Germanwings hasn't yet released a list of the passengers and their nationalities, but here's what's been revealed so far. Germany lost the largest number, 72 people. 35 Spanish citizens also among the dead. Nationals from the UK, Australia, Argentina, Iran, Venezuela, and the US also among the victims, together with people from the Netherlands, Colombia, Mexico, Denmark, Japan, and Israel. Around 30 Germanwings flights were canceled Tuesday in the wake of the crash. The Bild newspaper wrote that pilots were refusing to fly, citing personal reasons. The airliner that crashed had undergone repair work the day before and was described as just needing technical adjustments. This was a statement issued by Germanwings.
Following the incident in France yesterday, Germanwings has canceled one flight today and is operating all remaining flights according to schedule. Due to emotional distress, some crew members are also unfit for service today.
A late switch from the doomed flight saved the lives of a Swedish third division football team. They were supposed to fly home via Dusseldorf after a visit to Spain, but after arriving in Barcelona, the team decided the layover in Germany would be too long and rebooked onto other flights. We'll be bringing you more details into the crash investigation. You can follow all the latest updates as well on our website, rt.com.